Language is often described as a channel through which thought travels, but in reality it is far more complex than a simple vehicle for information. Words carry intention, emotion, hierarchy, insecurity, confidence, and hidden motives beneath their surface structure. A sentence may appear neutral and ordinary, yet its tone, rhythm, timing, and emphasis reveal psychological layers that go far beyond vocabulary. When someone speaks, we are not only listening to what is being said, we are constantly, often unconsciously, interpreting how it is being delivered. The speed of speech can signal anxiety, urgency, excitement, or confidence. A sudden pause may indicate hesitation, calculation, uncertainty, or emotional discomfort. A lowered voice may suggest secrecy, doubt, vulnerability, or inner tension. Language does not merely express ideas. It exposes inner states. Philosophers have long suggested that language shapes thought, but in everyday human interaction, language also reveals thought. When a person organizes their words clearly and speaks in structured sequences, it often reflects internal clarity and mental stability. When speech becomes scattered, repetitive, or contradictory, it may reflect uncertainty, internal conflict, or emotional pressure. Even word choice contains subtle clues. Someone who constantly uses defensive phrases may be protecting something. Someone who speaks in absolute terms may be expressing rigidity or need for control. Someone who over-explains simple matters may be trying to justify themselves or reduce perceived risk. These patterns are rarely intentional. They emerge naturally from deeper psychological processes. Beyond vocabulary, tone is one of the most powerful indicators of emotional truth. Two identical sentences can carry completely opposite meanings depending on intonation. A simple "I'm fine" can express peace, sadness, irritation, or silent anger depending on the vocal texture. Humans are extremely sensitive to these subtle cues. Long before conscious analysis begins, we feel when something does not match. This mismatch between words and tone is often where the real meaning lives. Language operates on multiple levels at once. The literal level conveys information. The emotional level conveys state. The relational level conveys power and distance. In social interaction, the emotional level often matters more than the literal one. People rarely remember exact sentences, but they remember how someone made them feel during the interaction. That emotional impression is shaped largely by vocal delivery. Volume, pacing, pitch variation, and emphasis create a psychological atmosphere around speech. Someone who speaks with steady rhythm and grounded tone often appears trustworthy and composed. Someone whose voice fluctuates unpredictably may create uncertainty or tension in the listener. This is not about manipulation. It is about awareness. Language is not only a tool for communication, but also a window into the speaker's psychological condition. When we become attentive to these layers, we begin to understand conversations more deeply. We stop taking words at face value and begin observing intention behind structure. We notice how certain phrases repeat. We notice where the voice tightens. We notice when confidence fades. In doing so, we gain insight into motives, emotions, and relational dynamics that remain invisible on the surface, but are constantly shaping human interaction beneath it. Understanding language as psychological expression gradually changes the way we interact with others. Instead of reacting only to content, we begin to observe patterns over time. Does the person avoid direct answers when certain topics appear? Do they over-explain small details but stay vague about important matters? Do they interrupt frequently or try to redirect conversations? These behaviors often reveal internal states such as insecurity, dominance, fear of exposure, or desire for control. Even silence becomes meaningful. A delayed response can indicate hesitation, internal conflict, or strategic thinking. A sudden change in topic may signal discomfort or avoidance. Micro shifts in tone often occur when someone approaches sensitive territory. In negotiations, leadership environments, friendships, and romantic relationships, these verbal signals quietly shape the balance of influence. The person who can detect intention beneath speech gains clarity. This does not mean judging others harshly. It means recognizing that language always carries layers. The most effective communicators are not those who speak the most, but those who listen beyond words. They pay attention to inconsistencies between statement and delivery. When someone says they agree but their tone tightens, tension exists beneath the surface. When someone claims confidence yet their voice trembles slightly, doubt may be present. When someone laughs while speaking about stress, the laughter may function as a shield. These discrepancies are not flaws. They are human signals. By becoming aware of them, you sharpen social perception. Language also reflects cognitive structure. People who think analytically often speak in structured sequences, using logic, order, and measured pacing. People who think emotionally may speak in waves of emphasis, storytelling, and imagery. Neither style is superior. Each reveals personality traits, thinking patterns, and emotional tendencies. Over time, habitual speech patterns become part of identity. Repeated self-deprecating language can reinforce insecurity. Repeated assertive phrasing can reinforce confidence. Repeated expressions of doubt can train the mind to expect failure. Words influence not only how others see us, but how we see ourselves. This creates a feedback loop between speech and psychology that slowly shapes long-term behavior. When you consciously refine tone, pacing, and clarity, you strengthen your internal state as well. Language is therefore both a mirror and an instrument. It reflects the mind and it shapes the mind. To master communication is not simply to choose better words. It is to align intention, tone, rhythm, and emotional presence. When these elements align, speech feels authentic and grounded. When they conflict, others sense distance, tension, or uncertainty, even if they cannot explain why. In human interaction, meaning rarely lives only in vocabulary. It lives in the space between words, in pauses, in emphasis, in rhythm, in the energy carried by the voice. To understand language deeply is to understand people more deeply. And when you learn to listen not just for statements, but for psychological signals, you move through social environments with greater awareness, precision, calmness, and quiet control.